read about Tao Te Ching?
I bring a copy.
Oh,
and then so we're kind of.
How many have you
sharing
read?
it.
No? No?
I actually read, but I didn't go in deep.
Oh, you read the title?
I read like the first few chapters.
Like this one?
Yeah.
I usually use this one. I obviously I've read at least 20, 30 different versions, but this one is the most popular. It's probably the longest standing one actually. It started in 1970 something. It's been 30 years I think. So none of you have really read it. Okay, that's good. That's always the best start.
A blank sheet.
So they don't have a bias.
Oh, we all have bias.
You have bias. That's easier bias.
Right, so you would be then. I totally blank.
I think last time we tried I talked about this book and also how interesting it is and how helpful it could be for our life, daily life and work, relationship, anything. It's probably I consider it most treasured hidden secret book in the world. And the reason I say that is not just my own personal experience, but also this book has been it's made about it's written about 2,500 years ago by a Chinese scholar called Lao. How many do you speak Chinese? Hi. Let me see. Lao in Chinese means old. Usually 子 is like son, right? But 子 in Chinese also has another use, which is respected scholar. Like Confucius, Confucius is 孔子. That 子 is a respected scholar. So Lao Tzu is an old respected scholar, and so it was written 2,500 years ago in Chinese, and very short chapters. There are 81 chapters in this book, and every chapter is very short. I mean, for example, let's just see what this chapter 9. Better stop short than fill to the brim. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, one chapter. Over sharpen the blade, and the edge will soon blunt. Amass a store of gold and jade, and no one can protect it. Claim wealth and titles, and disaster will follow. Retire when the work is done. This is the weight of heaven. So, like, this is chapter 9. And what do you think of what Lao Tzu said in chapter 9?
Looks like, everything's, enough to be like happy in our life or something like that.
Yeah. That's good. What do you think?
Well, just don't try to overdo something.
Anything.
You just overstress yourself, Just do what you need to do, but...
Do you agree with what he says, or what do you feel about that language?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of common sense, sometimes, like I said to you, I know I have a problem because sometimes I'm a bit of a perfectionist and sometimes,
yeah. So it's
get my underwear in the right cut,
right.
No need for it.
What about you? You just came out, what do you feel about that?
I guess it's all about balance, which
Balance.
of course is easier said than done. I mean, where is the balance? Is this the balance? Is this the balance?
That's
is
the
this
art.
the balance?
That's the art, right? That's the art. What do you feel?
I think it's interesting because it's at odds with sort of the
What the world really?
we live in
Good.
today, which is totally the opposite.
So the opposite. What do you feel?
I feel like it's like things shouldn't be too perfect. When it's too perfect, it's gonna be too over the edge.
Yeah, that's good. And you? What do you feel about that little chapter I just read? Did you hear it? Do you want me to read it again?
Was that the whole chapter?
That's
the
this whole chapter, chapter 9. Not every chapter is the same length, obviously, but I just open it up and I just read whatever it's out there. Chapter 9. Better stop short than fill to the brim. Over sharpen the blade, and the edge will soon blunt. Amass a store of gold and jade, and no one can protect it. Claim wealth and titles, and disaster will follow. Retire when the work is done. This is the way of heaven.
Yeah, it's just talking about balancing everything out and not going overboard.
Right. So I think it's fairly easy to understand this particular chapter. There are some chapters that are much longer and shorter, and especially when it's translated into into English, it's pretty straightforward. Now the key thing is like what this gentleman said. It's not easy to do it all the time. I mean, there's something that I talked about in the last class. It has a chart where it's done last year by Daniel Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman is a Nobel Prize winner in economics. He talked about behavioral economics. And so he did a very massive study about happiness, the topic of happiness. And he found that there's a curve like this, and the income, the higher the income, supposedly the happiness does grow. But it plateaus at $75,000 a year. This was done just last year, so this is very fresh. And then the more it goes, actually it starts to come down. In other words, the higher your income, actually above 75,000, the more you do, actually you have lower happiness.
Is that for one person?
No, that's for massive. That's I think.
No. Is that 75,000 per person?
Per
household.
Household. Yes.
How big a household?
The average is 4, right? But I think average now is probably 2. But the reason I said that is that it's a fairly easy example to show that it's very easy to say enough is enough. But if you look at the whole Manhattan, especially Manhattan is probably a good place to look at. Vast majority of the people that work in Wall Street, law firms, make well over $75,000. But they are working very hard, and they are not trying to make another 10,000. They are trying to make another 100,000, another $1 million. But statistics and its actual statistics of surveys has shown that the more money you make actually doesn't bring you happiness. It actually has a slightly negative effect. The money that you make out of poverty, to take you out of poverty, doesn't make you happier. But outside of that, it has no effect or a slightly negative effect already. But like what you said, that's what almost the whole society is teaching you to get more. I think that if you want to say what characterized 21st century, maybe 20th century, or even earlier, I think it's 2 words. One is more, and the other one is better. Everything that we try to do is to have more possessions and better positions, better living standards. I mean, today, the United States is one of the highest living standards in the world. We are still working very, very hard. What are we working hard for? And if that is not, if you ask everybody what is the goal of life, I mean, you want to be happy. Nobody wants to be sad. I mean, if you want to say some people wants to be working, they want to be taking care of their family, they want to spend more time with their kids. I mean, you can say all that, but what is the commonality of all those goals? It's to be happier. If I feel happier being with my family, I feel happier when I work, I feel happier when I make more money. Whatever it is, you try to be happier. There's no other goal in life. I mean, you can say, I want to have a meaningful life. What does that meaningful life bring you? That meaningful life brings you happiness. Otherwise, that meaningful life doesn't have a base. Why do you need a meaningful life? Because you feel better. But whatever, but that very simple logic is sort of not working in this society, because there's so much value that are telling us to get more and to get better. That's why Tao Te Ching is such an interesting book when you talk about Tao. What is the Tao of actually being happier? I mean, we never think about that. Almost the moment we were born, we are taught to learn more, and so you can do more things, so you can improve things. improve your life mainly. And we never taught what is the art of being happier. And so that comes back to Dao, this book called The Jing that talk about Dao. And Dao in Chinese is composed of. Oh, you have that board. Oh, right here. Can I use that?
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe just give me a piece of paper. I mean that's easy.
But then everybody
No,
can
when
see
you
it that
just
way.
use the board.
Yeah.
When you
Okay,
use the
but
board,
that's okay.
yeah, well, it is, you can raise it.
Is their sales goal? You're wrapping up.
They'll be happy now.
They'll
that
be
you
happier
raised it.
now.
Yeah, they're like,
Maybe they'll be
okay,
happier.
What is this on the how
Yeah, let's
are we
lower the
selling?
sales.
Yeah, like.
Do I need some water?
Well,
I think that's good enough.
yeah,
I just want to write actually one word for now, right? This word is called Dao, right? And you probably heard 1,000 times Dao, 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 Dao of something. This is the word Dao. In Chinese, this is divided into two parts, right? This is called shou, which is the head,